Had a real nice game.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, man, I was like, okay, where how bad I watched Daniel Jones. He looked bad, right?
Yeah, he did.
It looked bad. So that's the part that hurt. The team had five drops and a bunch of penalties, which is hard to get a drive going, hard to get things going, but he didn't look good. He absolutely did not look good.
No.
I saw, so now we're starting this, right?
Yeah,
So
we're on.
yeah. So um I saw a stat earlier today that was like Daniel Jones was sacked 3 times last
Okay.
game, right? None of those sacks were credited to the offensive line.
You just hold on to the
I
ball.
had never seen that. All sacks and most of the pressures were credited to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he was
He
he was
looked
rough.
lost in the
Yeah.
pocket at times. I'm hoping that he not faith like it'll get better because he didn't have faith in his leg, or it's his first time really seeing action and the game was moving a little too fast for even him. Maybe because he was off on some throws. Shouldn't happen for a guy that's a vet. But when you haven't seen serious action in a year, like I said, look at Aaron Rodgers as well. Didn't look great. You don't see action for a
Aaron
year.
Rodgers didn't look bad though yesterday.
He didn't look bad. He was
No, he looked just fine. Threw a weird pick that bounced
61%.
off some hands. Yeah, numbers wise, everything was down this week. So
Yeah.
I had the stat here. So week one NFL passing touchdowns since 2019. In 2019 there were 61. In 2020 there were 52. In 2021 there were 61. In 22 there were 51. In 23 there were 37. In 24 there were 33. But that was before Monday Night Football, so there's probably about 36 now.
Yeah, because no, Purdy throw? How many did Purdy throw? I know Debo ran one in mother ruined my fantasy team, but yeah, it might have been. You might be right. I'm
Aaron
looking at
Rodgers
it right
threw
now.
one,
No,
and
Brock Purdy didn't have any. It was only one.
okay, so 34 then.
Yeah, I'm looking at it there. Brock Purdy didn't have any. Like it was a bad game, not a bad game for quarterbacks. It just like I said, I like to throw week one out of the trash. It always feels like preseason game 4 for me. Mainly because since they've changed the schedule, the Giants have been getting absolutely blown out in week one. So
Yeah,
so so maybe that's why I consider it preseason game 4.
I need to ask you, which one was more painful? Daniel Jones's stat line in game, or
Or Saquon's
24 carries, 109 yards, two touchdowns, two receptions, 23 yards, and a touchdown. So
I,
132 all-purpose yards and three touchdowns.
I watched that game and it was everything that I thought it would be. Like so I thought he would be because he's playing with a better quarterback, he would get he you'd see his you would benefit more from him in the passing game than you would in the running game. I think the run game, which he didn't really start getting busy till like the end of the third
They
quarter
gave him
into the
24
fourth
carries,
quarter.
though. I mean, that's when it
Yeah,
was most important. They needed to run out that clock a little bit. They
correct.
got up,
But up until that point, I think he was like 12 carries for 30 something yards. It was
but he
something
still had like two
something
touchdowns in that
small.
time, though,
He had
too.
2 touchdowns. He had the touchdowns is where I assumed he was going to get that because he's playing with a better quarterback. They're going to get the ball to him in the back in the passing game. I think that's where you're going to get your money from Saquon Barkley. Like I said, I don't hate that Saquon Barkley is doing good. I think he would do good. I do think that they showed that they were going to run the ball. And I think they were fortunate enough to still be in the game to run the ball because that team also looks like they will stop running the ball as soon as they possibly can. They have weapons. They
Man, they ran it 24 times. Or he ran it
most of that
24
was
times.
second half. Most of that was second half runs.
Either way,
Um,
uh, that was a weird game because the field they were
the
playing
field
on
was
was a
horrible.
soccer pitch, right? Which is not
Hmm.
designed for 300-pound men making cuts. It's designed for the little wispy
Quick,
soccer
fast,
guys to
yeah.
run fast, right? So
Hmm.
they had to keep changing their cleats, and it was so funny. The moment Saquon got his first pitch, he like wiped out, right? Like his feet gave out from underneath him, and it was a loss. And then on Twitter, immediately there was some Giants fans getting salty, like, "Yeah, this is why we didn't pay this guy." Blah blah blah. This way,
That same guy was losing his. They're like sad afterwards. That's why, like, I don't. The only time I want to see Saquon Barkley do bad
is against the
is when he's
Giants.
playing against the
Mm-hmm.
Giants. Like, I have no hard feelings. The guy wanted money that the Giants wasn't willing to pay.
Yep.
It's not his fault that the team willing to pay him the most happened to be division rivals.
Well, if you listen to Joe Shane, it's his fault because they offered him that money before and he didn't take it.
That's true.
All he wanted to do was he wanted to go to free agency. That's what he wanted. He wanted to see what would happen in free agency, and they didn't give him that chance the first time. So,
yeah, no, that was that. Why would you? I got that. The reason that he's not here, I don't care. The one reason that he's not here, I'm starting to care because
they gave Daniel Jones all that money.
The main reason he's not here is because of Daniel Jones. That's the big issue I think that the Giants have with, but, and I'm saying the biggest but is they were left with no other option. I truly believe that. Not saying if they had to do it, if they could see a crystal ball, if they could see into the future, they would have signed Saquon and probably let Daniel Jones walk. That's a crystal ball. Mm-hmm. That's looking into the future. I think if they couldn't see into the future, all the decisions was the same, everything was the same, I think they'd make the same decision again. Because I don't think it was a dumb decision. It's just a decision that it's one of those decisions that they reluctantly had to do. I don't think anyone wanted to do it. It's just if you don't do it, it's like, you're gonna double down on your running back, like all the things that people say about running backs, they would have said about Saquon had the Giants not let the quarterback go. You let a quarterback go after he took you to the playoffs, it would have been the exact same thing, but the opposite. Now, hopefully that he would have proved us wrong by then and we would be okay. But
no, all I know is Brian Daboll had to come out on Monday and say, yes, Daniel Jones is still our starter.
This is the New York media that he has to deal with, right? Nobody else has to deal with that, right? Nobody else is going to have to deal with that. No matter how bad their quarterback plays, no one's going to have to listen to someone's asking you, are you going to start your quarterback with no legitimate backup in sight? With no legitimate backup in
Y'all
sight.
don't got nothing behind him. So
if I can understand if we had somebody who was like, say Jacoby Brissett goes out there the first game and just craps the bed, which he did. They won the game, right? But they have a rookie that they just put a first pick, the number 3 pick on. So then I can see the media going out there and going, hey, buddy, is this time? Is it time for him to go? Is it time for Drake May? I can see that. But when Drew Lock got injured in preseason, he's injured. We take out if you're asking the Daboll if Daboll's gonna go to his number 3 quarterback in week 2, is that what we're really asking?
But then number 3 is Tommy Cutlets, though.
Who cares?
He started last year. He started and played decent.
He did. He's one of those people who I think they're a gamer. Like, they may not practice well. So every time, if you're basing what you see of that player on practice, he's never going to be good.
Yeah.
But he goes out there and play. But still, what week one, we're saying
it's really tough to overreact on week 1. But it's fun to overreact on week 1.
It's fun.
Now,
it's fun.
I am willing to say the Bears are going 17-0 and going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
That's my overreaction.
Wait. But 3 quarters into the game.
The last time they did that, they went to the Super Bowl. It was you want to crown their ass. They are who I thought they were game. That was that game. They were down by multiple scores going in the second half and all defensive touchdowns.
That game. I'm gonna tell you. All right. We want to talk about the Giants. We can continue to talk about the Giants. The Giants got completely destroyed by.
We talk about the Bears.
By the Vikings. I know we usually go by teams. I don't need to go by what that game is. We all saw it. I did like Malik Neighbors.
Sure.
I don't know if they have anything else in the. I couldn't see because they didn't get the offense moving enough
Hmm.
to see what they had. And that has a lot to do with the drops and the penalties that killed drives. They just killed the drives and we
The
couldn't do
negative
it. And
plays, right?
the
The
negative plays.
turnovers, the sacks, the just
Yes.
the bad pocket presence.
Yeah.
Now, I will say
Just killed.
Daniel Jones did throw a pick six, right? And
Woo!
this is my only stat I'm going to bring up from the whole entire game. Since Daniel Jones signed his contract extension, he has thrown more pick sixes than touchdowns.
That's about right.
I
He
believe
only
he's
played
thrown
six.
3 or 4 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns.
That just means that that the offense doesn't play very good
Oh,
defenders when the ball gets picked off in the air. It's not his fault.
yeah.
That means someone
The
needs to be
offense
tackling
needs to be
these
better
guys.
tacklers, is what it means.
It's that the offense needs to be doing tackling drills with the defense.
Yes.
If Daniel Jones is your
They're giving
quarterback,
up that many
everyone
pick
knows that.
sixes. Yeah, that's the only stat I'm going to bring up because
Oh, yeah,
it's the one that made me chuckle the most.
I like I said, we got beat. Like I said, the stat I was surprised at was when I saw the game. I was like, man, Andrew Thomas gave up a sack, but it didn't look like it. It looked like it happened like he initially had the initial block.
Mm-hmm.
He blocked the guy to where he needed to block him, and then coming around, Daniel Jones did something dumb, and now he's in perfect vicinity of getting sacked.
Yep.
But I was like, man, but when I look at that, Andrew Thomas had 0 pressures and 0 sacks given up. The entire offensive line, no sacks given up. Daniel Jones has got to be better at that. You can't blame the offensive line for that game. Which is like I said, if I'm leaning on something on the positive note for the Giants, Malik Neighbors is catching everything in his radius. Love it. He didn't have the drops that the running backs did. Theo Johnson, the rookie tight end, had. He didn't have those drops.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Offensive line did exactly what they were supposed to go out there and do. Now, of course, the quarterback's got to do his job. He did. He didn't do his job, and they lost. They were still in that game until he threw that pick six. I don't know if you saw the footage of the minute that pick six goes, everyone hits the eject button in the stadium and leaves. They go home.
I did see that.
I wanted to leave, and I was at home.
Yeah. So, you did what I do working from home. I walk downstairs like, oh, I'm ready to go home. I am home. Yes.
Yeah, it was rough.
That was a tough game.
But we play next game is against the Washington Commanders.
Somebody's got to win, Bull, right?
Somebody's got to win. I think we are a better team. I think if Daniel Jones just doesn't I don't know, and this is me saying that I'll knock on wood. I don't know if he can play worse than he played last game.
Yeah,
I don't know if he can.
Don't know if it's physically possible.
I don't know. So it's only up from here. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. It's only up from here. So I still got the faith in the team. I think they're gonna get better as the year progresses, as Daniel Jones sits there, feels better on that knee, feels comfortable in that line, right? He's been playing with a bad line. They're gonna show him the stats like, hey, buddy, wasn't the line.
We'll see.
You got to have faith in those guys. Stand in that pocket, deliver that pass, take the hit, stop bouncing around.
And here's the thing, like, deliver the pass was really tough for him too. So it's okay. I mean, it's week 1. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's the beard. Maybe he should shave his beard. It wasn't the beard.
I've seen him 6 years without that beard. It wasn't any better. Wasn't any better. But your team got to win.
Yes. Downtown Chicago, Soldier Field, Caleb Williams homecoming first game, right? Now, I want to say a few things before we even talk about the game. Because there are 3 types of Bears fans, right? The 90% that were expecting Caleb Williams to come out and be Patrick Mahomes on his first game ever in the NFL.
90% of them, 90%. Okay.
Then there's the 8% that were like, we'll see what happens, got to give him time. And there's a 2% they're like, we should have never traded Justin Fields, right? Those are the Bears fans, right?
Okay.
So the 90% were very disappointed in this week's game, right? So much so that I saw people, we drafted Rex Grossman 2.0. Like, I don't understand who people are, right? I don't understand who people are. I can't handle it anymore. It just like The offseason, I couldn't handle it before they got rid of Fields and drafted Caleb. I couldn't handle that. I can't handle this. There's a level of expectation that is just so unobtainable, that is so skewed by C.J. Stroud, who is some sort of like processing magician who just got it.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped in the NFL and got it. And he was pretty much good, pretty much really good from week 3 on. Good week 2, figuring it out week 1, right? But still put up numbers. Caleb Williams was rough. We had a rough game, 100%. Did he have good moments? He definitely did. Did he have some bad moments? He definitely did. Did the team do? I don't want to do this because I did this with Justin Fields so much. Yes, there was a drop touchdown. Okay, so what? Right? Yes, there was a few things. Yes, there were some missed calls. Right? Whatever. Don't care. My biggest thing is he did not turn over the ball. He only had one incredibly negative play that ruined a scoring opportunity. They had the ball in. They got the ball after a punt return, and they were almost in field goal range. They moved up into field goal range, and it was like a 1st and 10, and they took a 19-yard sack that put him back at the 50.
Mm-hmm.
It was a screenplay that was blown up immediately at the snap. He had a guy in his face as soon as he turned around, so he turned the other way and ran. I'm like, just throw it out of bounds. Were there moments where it felt like I was saying the same thing I've been saying for the last 4 years? Just throw the ball, dude. Just throw the ball, dude. Yes, I did do that a lot. But like I said, there was no turnovers, which is great. The defense balled the hell out. Will Levis had some nice moments in the game, but then looked bad. Wow, did he look bad? That pick 6 he threw, when just take the sack, guy. Just take the sack. Right? There's nothing to take there.
If you can't get the ball out of bounds, don't throw the ball.
No, especially when you're going down.
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
Yeah. The Bears special teams blocked a punt, returned it for a touchdown.
It was ridiculous. The Bears defense did everything they needed to do in the second half, though. Like, remember at the beginning? Do you remember at the beginning we was watching Hard Knocks, and Eberflus is over there saying we need three turnovers. Yeah. We need 3 takeaways.
Yep.
And we're just like, you just can't get those every game.
Yep.
You're asking them. They look ready to get them every. Now I don't know if it was just Will Levis.
I don't know, man.
But they were clicking on special teams, like you said, not just the block punt. Any punt that they received, I was like, oh man, special teams looks really good.
Yeah.
The defense looked salty the third, in the middle of the third quarter on, because the first half they didn't look ready to come out there and play.
No, they didn't look bad. They only gave up. They only gave up
17 points.
Hold on. They had one drive. Titans marched down, scored a touchdown. It's acceptable. You're not going to shut everybody out.
Yeah.
The field goal came off of Velus Jones' kick return that he decided to soccer kick to the Titans.
yes. I forgot about that.
They didn't move the ball at all. They got a field goal. And I can't remember how the other touchdown happened. But they only gave up really 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
2 scores. The Titans didn't cross the midfield the entire second half.
Second half looked rough. The defense did whatever they needed to do. I'll tell you what, though. So that block punt changed the game.
Yeah, it did.
That block punt changed the game. I was like, oh, okay. We're going to because asking your rookie quarterback to come back and to down 14 points, that's tough.
Yeah. They were down 17, right?
Tough.
It was 17-0 at a point.
17-3.
No, it's 17-0
what they went into half.
Because the Bears scored 24 unanswered points.
Yeah, but it was at the half.
Oh, at the half it was 17-3, right?
So coming out of the halftime, asking your quarterback to put up more than 14 points for the win. 14 points gives you the tie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That's asking for a lot.
Yes.
So when they came out there and blocked that punt and took it for a touchdown, now you're only asking him to go down there and really just give you one touchdown.
One score.
One score.
Yep.
It's easier. Everyone's like, I think everyone can calm down because even Caleb no longer has to force it.
Yep.
Like I think internally you feel like, okay, I got to get us down there. So you may do a little too much. He never had to do too much.
Nope.
And every time he got back on the field, the defense put up more points. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, is this how you play football? This is easy.
Yes, that's the thing,
You just
right? So he, like I said, he didn't turn over the ball. He had a lot of overthrows, which to me was like, it felt like he was wound tight.
happy feet.
He was wound
Oh,
tight, right? Like he was just like, he was throwing the ball hard. I was watching him, I was like, I gotta get there, and he was rifling it as hard as he could every time, right? He had two wide open go routes that he just
yes.
overthrew, right? Just totally
Yes, by a
overthrew.
lot though.
Yeah.
Not even by.
Yeah, it was total like, it was like pitch and catch, right? Like the first one, the dude Keenan Allen had him beat by like 4 steps. And he had the angle where he's just it was like wide open field. And like all you gotta do is just throw it like 5 feet in front of him,
just
right?
lob it up there. Just give him. Yeah.
Just give him an opportunity. He overthrew him by like 20 yards. So I'm just like, what are you doing? And then it just, he looked, you know how he said famously in Hard Knocks, I don't get nervous. He looked like he was nervous. Right?
Yes.
And that's okay.
That's what
that you would expect that almost, right?
I will say this is the thing about Caleb that I'm not gonna say I don't like. Like he has, and it's a good thing about him, but I just like, you said that 90% of the fans feel that he's going to be the greatest coming of a quarterback that the Bears ever seen. He's done nothing to taper those expectations.
Well,
he is embraced it.
Well, yes. And it's not necessarily his job to be like, calm down, I might not be good right away. He's not going to say that, right? Why would he say that?
No. But there's ways you can go out there and you say it's like, oh no, it's a good season. These guys are professionals. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna give the best season I could possibly give. He's already said, like that's it. Is like when asked about like what's the record for quarterbacks? Like,
the only time he talks about like the other things is because he's constantly asked about them, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, what do you say about expectations? It's like, what's he supposed to say? Well, I might suck for a handful of games when we start, right?
Listen, you got to give the Andrew Luck answers. The ones where people are like, why are we putting the mic in your face? You're giving me these cookie cutter answers. That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
you got to give answers.
That's not his
like,
personality though. I
just came here. I'm gonna do a good thing. It's a team sport. I can't do it by myself. Even if I get 60,000 yards out there, the team is the reason why I got. Like, you got to give those cookie cutter answers that makes you think. And he's not gonna do that.
Well, he still gave them though. He gives them all the time.
He called up his punter.
Oh, okay, that's called. I just got picked number 1 overall. I'm hyped. Right?
This is the hype. This is why you're sitting there going, the fan, 90% of the fans he is giving you every reason to believe that's the thing.
That's what you want though. You're right. You want that ability to believe. But then when you don't believe, when you don't come out there and show that, now but I understand. If you're not,
we should give him. You should give him the rookie thing. He's a rookie, but when you come out there and you start doing that, when you call up the punter and say, "Listen, man, you know you're not gonna have to do it," and the man goes out there and has to kick 6 punts for 240 something yards.
He was awesome though. He was everything that he was advertised as, though, man.
Yes.
He had a punt where he was punting from like the 15. And he kicked it to the opposite 15. You're like, oh my God, how is that even possible?
He averaged 45 yards on his punts.
Right, and 3 of them were inside the 20. 1 just skipped out at the from going out of bounds when it was a touchback. Here's the thing. Yes, he has high expectations. Yes, he knows he's a good football player. Yes, he gets asked constantly, and I would say that his blend of answers are more because you don't see them. Right? They're not the sound bites. Are the I don't care about stats. I want to win. Blah, blah, blah. This, that. I got a great defense. All these things, right? And then he's got there was like, why should I temper expectations? They brought me here for a reason. Those are the answers that he gives, right? And it's like the Bears are historically just terrible at the quarterback position. Just terrible. They've never really hit ever once. Right? And we can go through all those numbers again. People are just excited, but people don't realize that I think they realize they just refuse to believe
It takes
that
time.
it takes time, right? Like it takes a little bit of time to get going. And CJ Stroud last year does not help anything. My last
Uh
Bears point.
huh.
They had 3 sacks in the game. I don't think they had 3 sacks until like week 7 last year. They tried to trade for Matthew Judon,
You
right?
know. Hmm.
It went through that week of cuts. They traded like a 6th or 7th round pick to the Seahawks to get Darrell Taylor. Do you know what Darrell Taylor is? So Darrell Taylor has done a few weird things in his time. Uh, One, he's an outside linebacker. He's an edge rusher, right? Linebacker, edge rusher. One, he totally biffed. Boy, you could say that he just did not see the handoff or he thought it was a play action fake, but he creamed Jared Goff on a handoff. Like Jared Goff did the handoff, stood back there in the pocket, and Darrell Taylor came just rushing and just mauled the man, like blindsided him. So he's done that. There's one time he ran off the sidelines to tackle somebody, even though he wasn't in the play, right? He just got hyped up. So he's done some weird stuff, but he's a high energy pass rusher. Gets after the guy. Gets after. He had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble in that game today. The forced fumble. Now this might be my favorite Bear of all time. Now he sacks Will Levis, and then he does the Joker walking away from the hospital as he's blowing it up walk. He's kind of just like walking like this, and he's doing like people put him up side by side. He literally did that walk. I don't know if that's what he's intending to do, but he did it. I'll take it. And then, one more thing, because it's filthy. It is a filthy, filthy thing. Jalen Johnson versus the Titans. He had 1 catch allowed for -2 yards.
That man was
1 interception, 1 forced
Yeah.
incompletion, and a 2.8 passer rating allowed. That dude is
yeah.
it, man. He is legit
Yeah.
Revis Island style cornerback, and I love it.
Yeah, I was watching it with a Bears fan, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the best cornerback in the league." And I couldn't say he wasn't. couldn't say he wasn't. He was out there. Looked like you don't throw the ball that direction.
You just don't, and they won't, and they aren't, right? So that means Tyreek Stevenson is the second most important cornerback in the league because he's got to get all it, and he's the one that had the pick 6, right? He's in his second year. It took him about.
Well, that pick 6, I could have had that pick 6.
Well, you didn't. He did.
I see, they wouldn't let me in.
So
I asked coach to
Tyreek
let me
Stevenson
in.
last year in his rookie year out of Miami took about 7-8 games to like kind of figure it out, and he was real rough the first like 5 or 6. After that, he was pretty lights out. After that, so I'm very excited because they have a very good defensive back group. Man, just from Kyler Gordon and the safeties, it's good stuff. And
I was going to talk bad about the Giants defensive back group, but Justin Jefferson, no matter who's throwing the ball, he just gets open. I was just like, I was going to get mad at Deontay Banks. I'm like, they got you covering Justin Jefferson 1-on-1. And he's looking back like, can somebody help me? Can somebody help me? Like,
so just a safety or something, right? That's the thing about Justin Jefferson. I don't know. Even the best cornerback in the league is going to have a hard time covering him every snap. He's going to get open eventually, and it just happens. It was like Calvin Johnson back in the day, right? Like, the man was just like automatically open. He's on the field. Yes, he's open. Okay, right? Like you just don't know, right? But
can I get him the ball or not?
Yes, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, is he really open, or is he just like that 50-50 open, right? Where like if I throw it, it's either going
50-50 is like 80-20 Calvin. That's the thing. As a quarterback, you just got to understand that his open isn't everybody else's open.
But I love Jalen Johnson. That dude is just a monster on that side of the field, man. It's a good thing to have. And I will say this, so we're talking about special teams. The Bears special teams looked really good. And teams that have good special teams have depth of talent.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. The Bears have been very thin on talent over the last 5-6 years. The special teams looking that good on punt coverage, punt blocks, kick returns, except for Velus Jones.
Except for Velus Jones, yep.
Who as soon as that happened, he didn't step foot on the field for a kick return after that. Granted, the Texans only had one more after that, right? So, uh, but they did run him out there in the backfield. They kind of abandoned the run at some point, which is whatever. So we'll see what
Mm-hmm.
happens this week. We need to talk about other things that happened in the league
Yeah, it was
because it was
good
kind of a
games.
crazy week.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City beat the Ravens,
Yep. If we start there,
and that was a good
uh,
game.
good game. I will say I don't know. Lamar looked like he overcompensated for the playoffs game,
Yeah,
where everyone said, "Why didn't he run enough?"
yeah,
He looked like he looked to run earlier and often, quicker than I'd seen him look to run in the
and it
past.
wasn't just running. It was I'm going to punish the person in front of me running.
You runs that you can't do that for
No,
17
you can't.
games. You
And,
can't do
and be
that
a
for
quarterback?
17
No,
games.
you can't because you have to be at there every snap, right? Like running backs, you can cycle
Yeah.
them in and out and stuff, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but Kansas City looked fine. The Ravens looked a little bit lost, but they're okay. It's week one, right?
But since we do this once a week, the thing that pissed me off, but I was like, all right, come on, Lamar. When Lamar said, if that's the best they
Mm,
got,
yeah,
he said we probably played our worst game we are gonna play all year. If that's the best they got, we'll see them in the playoffs.
hmm,
It was week one for everyone, Lamar. It was not like you was playing a week 16 Chiefs
yeah,
team versus a week one Ravens team. That's probably not the best the Chiefs had.
yeah. I don't mind the statement though. It's just like the Caleb statements. I don't mind it.
It is. You got to sit there and say, because you know you don't play them again in the season.
Yeah,
You got to say, I'll see this team. I'll see this team next year.
yeah,
Not next year. I'll see this team in the playoffs.
yeah,
That's what you have to say. I get that part. It was the stinking
yeah.
that you saw Kansas City at their
This is our
best.
worst. That's their
It's
best. Yeah.
the,
Nah.
that's the part I was like,
I will say this: Xavier Worthy, man, that
they
dude.
shouldn't have given it. They shouldn't let him have it. Everyone's mad at the Bills for letting him get it. I draft.
Anybody else could have drafted
I
him.
Yeah, but he was always gonna go late first round pick. And they needed a wide
Yeah,
receiver.
they did.
And they drafted right before them, I think.
Man, he is
He's fast.
fast. He's fast.
4.2.
Yeah,
He's
but
fast.
he's fast. He's a little. He's kind of like a rail,
Small.
right?
Like
But
five
nobody
set five.
touches him,
No, no.
right? So, and here's the thing: Andy Reid is like this evil mastermind genius of calling up weird plays and stuff like that. He'll find weird plays to get him the ball just so he can run, right? Because
Yeah.
nobody's if he gets out behind somebody, nobody's catching him.
Oh, oh. And that's the thing I like of this is why I said I was a little not upset, but like, Lamar. There you definitely didn't see the Chiefs between Rasheed Rice and Xavier Worthy, who's just going to get more touches, get more acclimated, understand how him and Mahomes work together. That's only going to get
Yeah.
better. Isaiah Pacheco they look like they actually now have a decent run game,
Hmm.
and Kelsey is just out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he has to get the ball 12 times a game for them to be successful.
No, because they got Rashee Rice turned into a legitimate receiver.
Yep.
He was nice last year.
Yep.
Decided
That's
to wreck his car in the off season.
yeah, yeah, that's still not
He
good.
still played. Here's now the NFL's weird. We don't even have time to talk about how weird the NFL is when it comes to punishing people. But like,
hmm
should Rashee Rice been playing? I don't know. But Xavier Worthy looked real nice. Xavier Worthy already has more regular season touchdowns than Sky Moore does. We forgot Sky Moore was even on that team. Remember he was going to be this. I don't know what.
He was supposed to be that because everyone's like, hey, since Hill, they're looking for a wide receiver.
Mhm.
If you draft someone, you're assuming if they're halfway decent and Mahomes is giving them the ball, they're going to be great. Like,
Sky
you're
Moore just
gonna be
hasn't really
halfway
panned out yet. Kadarius
and
Toney just signed with the
is not.
Browns.
Oh no!
Yeah, oh no, that's right.
Oh no!
So Friday we had the Eagles and Packers. We talked a little bit about it because of Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Eagles looked mediocre plus. Packers looked mediocre plus, but Packers lost Jordan Love for
For about 6 games,
3 to 6 weeks, maybe depending.
6.
And
Mm-hmm.
the person thrust into the starter's role is the
Oh
guy
no!
they just traded for the cut week, Malik Willis. Malik Willis
All
hasn't
right.
had a week with the LaFleur
Okay.
offense, and now he's starting.
All right, but it already didn't look good.
No.
Right? He came in the game. His job was to drop a pass to the sideline to stop the clock. The guy dropped the ball. They didn't advance anymore.
Yeah.
His next play is a Hail Mary. I don't need to know the playbook to know that I'm just throwing the ball as deep as I possibly can. They only send 3 guys. It's a Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to send 3
Yep.
and drop the other 8. How did he get sacked? How did he not get the ball off
I don't know.
to do a Hail Mary?
And Malik Willis has a bit of a cannon too. Remember?
He does. That's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna see it. What was he waiting for? You throw that ball.
Just throw it.
You throw that
Throw
ball
it as high and
downfield.
as far as you can. Let people get
Was
underneath
he
it.
scared of an interception?
Yeah.
Was he, why? How did he
Yeah.
get sacked on that play?
I don't know.
Unless you got Ezekiel Elliott as your lead blocker.
Packers season's done in my book. I don't see them winning a game until Love gets back. You're gonna tell me Malik Willis is gonna go out there, or
That's my pick. I can't. That's one of my picks,
is Malik
sir.
Willis
I
or
can't
Sean
get
Clifford
rid
gonna
of
go
him.
out there and win the game? Let's say Love on the positive side is out 3 weeks. That means they're 0-4. Coming back from 0-4 is tough. I think only
But that's
one team's
saying-
ever done it.
That's saying that they can't go out there and at least put up a decent amount of numbers with Malik Willis.
I don't know. I don't know what can happen. We'll see. And I like Malik Willis coming out of the draft, but like, he couldn't crack it in Tennessee. He couldn't beat out Tannehill when they were trying to get rid of Tannehill, and then like
he was a project.
Yes.
Oh, he was always a project.
He's always a project. Yeah.
He was always a project.
But he was going to be cut. They were going to cut him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Packers traded for him. So
he's a little bit more mobile than what we're going to see from Love we'd see from Love. So we'll see what they throw out there. It's still one of my picks.
I'm gonna tell you what, if anyone can figure out an offense to work for them, it's probably Matt LaFleur. As much as I hate to admit that, because I hate the man.
I don't know. I was just mad that he didn't throw the ball. This is I don't get it. It's a Hail Mary. It seems like it's
I think we're looking at 0-4, but we'll see. All right.
It's possible.
Steelers Falcons. The Justin Fields show. Justin Fields played a nice game.
No, he did. He played a penalty free, not a penalty free. He played a turnover free game. Wasn't that great?
He was
Justin Fields.
But he was a better version of Justin Fields. He looked nicer out there. Watching the highlights.
He was 17 to 23.
Yes, everything was on the sidelines. I looked at the pass chart. There was nothing anywhere near a hash mark. Right, so he missed a few throws, got out of situations, used his legs, made
using his legs,
made a really nice deep throw to the left side to Pickens. They didn't get in the end zone, but hardly anyone got in the end zone. He played well enough for Mike Tomlin to call him the starter for this week coming up.
I will say that Mike Tomlin has got in both quarterbacks what he's looking for. Someone who's not going to go out there and throw 3 interceptions a game, and you're not constantly fighting a battle uphill. And looking at them play defense, good luck on it for anybody. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
As long as TJ Watt
cannot, as long as he doesn't tear a pectoral again, feels like he cannot be covered.
No. He's a monster.
And then as long as Micah Fitzpatrick in the backfield and the back end is a beast too.
Yes.
He's all over the place. They tackle well.
Yes.
They still got Cam Hayward.
Yes.
They like
The
yes.
corner they got in the trade for when they sent Deontay Johnson to the Panthers. He had a
Mhm.
nice game. I don't know what his name is, but he I think he had a pick in the game. Like he played a nice game. Falcons looked lost and confused at home. They didn't score anything in the second half. Steelers just
Cousins
field goals
Cousins was
despite.
getting sacked or pressured almost immediately. All they could do was throw quick outs to Bijan Robinson or let Bijan Robinson run the ball. They couldn't develop anything deep downfield. Kyle Pitts had a touchdown, which was crazy.
Yep.
Got a Kyle Pitts touchdown. He
First
actually
and
had
last
a
of the season
pass.
is my guess.
So I got him in the league, so I need to keep. I need
I've
to
had him
get
in
ahead of
fantasy for the previous 2 years. I know what happens.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
go ahead.
Kirk Cousins just didn't look good.
Yeah.
And but then the person I was with was like, "Does anyone really look good against the Pittsburgh?" He said, "You can't judge the Falcons on that week against the Steelers. Their defense was absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous."
It's
So,
tough, right? So, like, everybody's always like, "Oh, like this quarterback looked terrible. This quarterback." I mean, there's another team that has a job to stop you, and if the other team does their job, you're going to look bad. It just happens.
yep.
Cardinals, Bills. Cardinals looked okay. They looked all right. Bills still won because Josh Allen's a monster. But Cardinals looked okay. Kyler Murray had a tough time and did not hit his wide open toy that he got in the first round this year a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
but that comes with time. Bills played decent defense. Josh
John
Allen,
Connor was running the
yeah,
ball. Yeah,
that
no.
was all right. Oh, we got to talk about the biggest surprise, the biggest upset of the week. The Patriots put.
I didn't even see the game.
I just saw highlights. Patriots beat the
I just,
Bengals, and and
I
and what's his name? Joe Burrow apparently looked bad,
terrible.
real bad.
I'm gonna say something.
Say it.
I don't really think that Joe Burrow's that good. I think he came out of the league. He got injured his first year.
Yeah,
His next year they go to the Super
lightning
Bowl.
in a bottle season. Yes,
Lightning in the ball season. Since then,
he's had
he's been
issues.
some injuries. He's had some issues, but I can't say that he has looked that good since.
It's true. Now, so he is coming off of like a thumb injury or a hand injury or something like that, off his throwing hand.
Mhm.
Now, because I like to tweet about the Bengals on my timeline, so we could reference it today, which we're not going to because I don't want to go through all my tweets because I have like 1,000 of them. I get lots of Bengals stuff now. And people are
Mhm.
like, this man came and picked up a water bottle. They show him on the sideline and tried to pick up his water bottle with his right hand, and he has to bring the left. You know, like when Trump was trying to drink the water and he'd bring the other hand to tip it up. That was Joe Burrow trying to pick up his big Gatorade water bottle, right? I don't know. I don't know if he's still hurt or if he's not 100% or if he's just not doing it, but
I don't I don't get how you can go into the season, the postseason. I mean, the end of the year, did they make the playoffs last year? No.
no, they just missed.
They just missed because the Steelers winning.
Yes.
Um, so their season was effectively ended the first week of January,
Yes.
and now it's September, and whatever hand ailment he has is still not like we got people getting replacement ligaments and out there in 8 months.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Are we just blaming his hand? Are we blaming
Oh,
injuries?
I have no
And
idea. I don't know what we're blaming, to be honest.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't see that happen. Didn't see the Patriots winning.
No, no one did. I don't even know what the page.
Even
Oh, I do have to bring this up. Let me see if I can find it. I do have this tweet. Let's see. Brissett, right? That's his name. No, it's not coming up. All right. So, Jacoby Brissett said before the game, we said like in the post game that before the game, Mayo came up, gave him like a pound on the shoulder pads. And he said, "You know what? You're about to go out there and tear it up, and we're going to win this game." Something to that effect. And Jacoby Brissett, 6 or 7 year veteran, got a little choked up and said, "No one's ever said that to me before." No one's ever had that sort of belief in me, and he's been a starter in the league.
Yeah.
No coach has ever said, "All right, you're gonna go out there and we're gonna do this." No one's ever said that to him. No one's ever had that sentiment towards a starting quarterback ever. I felt so bad for the guy. He was really good on the Browns.
Yeah.
Since that season on the Browns, I'm like, this dude can be a starter on a team. He might not be like a superstar, but he's a guy that can either be a bridge quarterback, get you to a spot, definitely fill in if somebody gets hurt. And and he's one of those guys that the locker room seems to love, right? They gravitate towards
Yeah.
him. How has no coach ever instilled confidence in the man prior to
He
this?
probably because of the role that he's probably played.
Yeah.
He's probably been just biding his
Yeah.
time till the starter comes back or something to that effect until to where the coach just comes in and the pat on the back is like, all right, the game's gonna slow down. We just want you to just make the plays you gotta make.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and let the defense and the running back do the work. Right. No coaches have told him to go out there and you are the reason we're gonna win this game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I just don't blow percent.
Pretty much the coach speak of just don't blow it, sir.
I felt bad for the dude. I want him. Now I want the Patriots. I know hating the Patriots is what you do.
Good to
I
do.
want Jacoby Brissett to be good. And if the Patriots win, they win. But I want Jacoby Brissett to be good. All right. Joe Burrow is bad. Texans at Colts.
That game. That was a game.
Yes. Now, can I?
To me, the best game of the week.
Now, Anthony Richardson is still an athletic freak. We knew this coming out of the draft last year.
Yep.
Pardon me. We knew this going in to last year until he got hurt in week 4 because he likes to run the ball headfirst into people. He was 9 for 19 in the game, right? Passing.
212 yards.
3 of those passes were over 50-yard bombs.
Yes.
One is one of the most ridiculous throws I've ever seen in my life. He gets a snap, he slips, he's falling backwards. He still steps back. He's off balance.
Oh.
He throws the ball.
That foot just glances the ground before he throws that back foot. It doesn't even feel like he steps into it.
He's on one foot going away from the line of scrimmage and launches the ball 60 yards in the air.
Rifle.
Dude catches it in stride. It wasn't like
in stride.
Now, obviously, it didn't like land in the breadbasket. He had to veer left to get it, but he threw it that far in a way that only his guy could get it. Is the most insane throw. He had 3 of his 9 completions were like 180 of his 200 something yards.
Yeah,
it's insane. Now, does that make him a good quarterback? Not necessarily, but man, is he an athletic monster. He is just. I don't know how. Man, if he gets good at quarterbacking, he's going to be a real problem. If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, because 9 and 19 is not great.
No, but if he gets good at quarterbacking, it's going to be an issue, and the Colts are going to be a problem. The Colts might still be a problem.
They might be. It was that. And C.J. Stroud just goes out there and they gave him new toys and new weapons.
Diggs and Mixon,
he used them. He used them to the best of his ability.
Yep.
Nico Collins is your long the guy who's going to get the receptions. Diggs was unstoppable in the red zone. Yep. Nico had like 100-something yards catching. Mixon was absolutely tearing it up on the ground. They gave that man too many weapons. They're going to be tough to beat. They may go further than they did last year.
Mixon 159 on the ground and a touchdown. Nico 117 in the air. Tank Dell three grabs for 40. Stephon Diggs 6 grabs for 33 and 2 touchdowns.
2 TDs.
Here's the thing about Diggs. That dude does not miss it. If you throw it at him, he catches it. So if he's just there like, you're our new intermediate and red zone threat, man, I think he would be more than happy with that role. Because in Buffalo, he was expected to do everything, and he did do everything. Mm-hmm. Here, he doesn't have to do everything. He can just be this. And if he's this and he's that good,
oh my God,
their defense is stout. They got in the backfield when they needed to. I mean, Anthony Richardson 212 in the air, 56 on the ground. Jonathan Taylor 48 on the ground. You know,
Yeah, he had a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor needs to get better, but he's coming off an injury, so it'll probably get better as the year progresses, hopefully.
yep. All right, now we can fly through some of these. Dolphins, Jags. Dolphins win. Jags bad.
Jags was winning the game like the entire
They
game,
didn't score in the
and
second half. They were upset.
then they threw an 85-yard bomb to Tariq
That's all it
Hill.
takes. When you
And
have
was
that,
pretty
you have
much
Hill
it.
and Waddle, you have opportunities. The Dolphins, like the Texans, just have too many weapons, too many receivers, too many backfield guys. Just like, and they're all fast as hell.
And I just saw, because I've got Devon H in fantasy, that both their running backs are questionable for this week.
Yes, Mostert and Achane are both questionable already.
Questionables.
Like
Ugh.
Achane was my guy last year. I drafted him in our keeper league. I drafted him in that league. And like, this is the guy I want. He's fast as hell, and he's on the Dolphins. Yes, like I did a good job of drafting keepers last year. So, but he was hurt. He was hurt for like 6 weeks last year too.
Yep.
We'll see. Here is the. Yeah, they're terrible still. Saints versus Panthers. Saints. The Panthers allowed Derek Carr to score 47 points on them.
Yeah. My friends was calling him Derek Montana.
What are we talking about here? Derek Carr, this is the guy that Saints fans were wanting to bench in favor of Spencer Rattler. And Derek Carr goes out there, they puts up a 47 spot on the Panthers. The Panthers are
Who look bad.
Bad.
And their lone bright spot is maybe out for the season.
He is out for the season. He has a meniscus tear, I believe. So kneecap dislocated and torn, full repair, long recovery process. So the Panthers are looking to be the first. They can't be the first team ever to have the number one pick 3 years in a row, even though they traded for it the 1 year. They will have earned it 2 years in a row, possibly.
I remember one time, if I remember correctly, I remember the Detroit Lions. I felt had it.
Oh,
At 3 out of 4 years.
Browns
I remember
did that too quite a bit.
They had selected why do I want to say it? One of their wide receivers like Rodgers. I think they had a Mike Williams, and these are the receivers that they had. And then the last one they drafted was
3
Calvin.
wide receivers at the top in the top 3 picks, 3 straight years. Yes,
Yeah,
Roy Williams, Megatron, and I can't remember who the other one was.
I thought I remember like a Rodgers or something, but yeah.
So the Panthers are bad. I don't know if he was going to go to their home opener.
Oh, my friend is I'm gonna tell you that's funny. I got a good friend who's a Panthers fan, and we riv him all the time. He sent us. He lives in North Carolina. He sent us a picture, and it is a promotion that Bojangles is doing. Buy an 8-piece.
No, that can't be.
And get 2 free tickets
No
to the
way
game.
that's real. No way it's real. The NFL is such an expensive commodity. No way Bojangles is giving away free tickets. Now, I can see if this is NBA, because NBA, the Milwaukee's Bucks are constantly giving away tickets for stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. If you find it, I'll believe it, but I won't believe it until you find it.
Panthers tickets about to be included in the Bojangles combo.
Yeah, I think that was just a...
Was it fake?
Yeah, I think it's got to be.
Because he sent me a whole picture of a promotion of it, and I was like, "What? What is this?"
No, yeah, bottom of cereal boxes.
It's like $8.99 for a box. I was like, "Oh, for 2 tickets."
They're bad. They are bad. All right, Chargers Raiders. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Did you see? When you get a chance, look this up. The celebration, the post-game celebration on the sidelines of Jim Harbaugh, like beating and pounding on Justin Herbert, like pounding on his shoulder pads and like punching him and like screaming in his face, and Justin Herbert's like, trying to like walk it back a little bit, like, I don't need you beating on me, coach. I know you're excited. It's like screaming in the post game, like the worm is turned, blah blah blah. Who's gonna bear us? Nobody. Like whatever. I don't care for Jim Harbaugh as a coach. I didn't like him before when he was a 49ers coach and he was this screaming red ass. I didn't like him going to Michigan. I didn't like any college coach that goes and blatantly cheats and then cuts ties so he can't be punished, a la Pete Carroll, a la Jim Harbaugh. I don't have respect for because you won your championship and you leave your school in shambles. Anyway, they won 22-10. Joe Alt. Joe
Yes,
Alt was a
untouched.
monster. He stopped Max Crosby the entire game. The entire game.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about
What?
possibly Joel versus Roma Dunze.
Yeah. What about him?
Like, would you have?
No, I'm still fine with where we're at.
Okay,
It's a bad 1 week. What are we gonna do? Roma Dunze's hurt.
Roma Dunze's hurt. That's the part
That
that
one
I'm like,
stinks.
oh.
But I think Roma Dunze is fine. It's good. Roma Dunze is an excellent pick, and I'm excited for it. I just hope he stays. I hope he can be healthy. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing with any player. Like, oh, get excited
Yes.
about him, and then he gets hurt in the first game. You're like, oh God, no. Seahawks beat the Broncos 26-20. Bo Nix
Bo Nix did not look great.
did not look great, and I gotta share something because it's so funny, and I you can't do this, but people have been doing it. Let me find it. It was about Bo Nix.
Comparing his first game to like
Yes,
Peyton Manning's people, because I hate when people
here
do
it
that.
is.
Peyton Manning sucked his rookie year.
Oh, it's not
Okay.
coming.
You know how many people that sucked their rookie year? Ryan Leaf did too. He never became Peyton Manning.
All right, here it is. Bo Nix first career stats.
I hate when they do it. I hate it.
Bo Nix 61%, 1 touchdown, 2 ins, 2 sacks taken, versus Josh Allen, his first game, 54 and a half, 1 touchdown, 2 sacks, 5 sacks taken. We'll be all right.
We'll be all
You
right.
can't do that. You cannot do it. Because, listen, I come from Chicago, and anytime there was something comparable, you could compare Trubisky favorably to Mahomes, it was done. It was done. It's like, look, Trubisky is throwing more touchdowns of 3 or less yards from the right side. Like some like super minutia thing. Like, therefore, he's just as good as Patrick Mahomes. No, he's not. Bo Nix is not either. But it was also Bo Nix's first game ever. We'll see if his career pans out. Call me in 6 years if he's Josh Allen.
If he's Josh Allen,
But
I don't think he
I
will be.
will not
but
be answering that call because it won't be making. Won't be made. Cowboys embarrassed the Browns. The Browns. Dak Prescott got
Ooh,
paid
that's what happens when you get paid. You got to go out there and show them what you're working
$60
with.
million a year paid.
$80 million signing bonus. He should have been slower because his pockets were so weighed down with cash.
Or he's wearing like platinum shoes or something.
He just signed the deal like earlier in that day. $80 million just cleared his account. Listen, I might have went out there and just thrown a dud. Like, what you gonna do? I might have went out there and Deshaun Watson did. Not the other thing, the bad quarterback play.
I might have gone out there and forced 40 plus women to give me a hand job.
That's what I meant. Not that one. Not that thing.
Here's the thing, man. Dak looked good. CD looked good. Micah looked real good because he knows what's on deck. He's like, y'all got to pay me now, and if you don't,
you won't see him in minicamp. You won't see him. He's going to take the same playbook that everyone else is taking.
Yep, and it's gonna be the same.
And they're going to
same
have to
CD
pay him
plan because he's on his 4th year right now. He's got the 5th year option next year. He's not going to play on that.
He's not going to.
He's going to go out there. He's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Oh, he's got TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Looks like
he's
wants
got out,
that.
He's got out TJ Watt. But
he's got Alfred. Yep.
But I want to say if anybody can do it, it might be Micah
He can
Parsons.
do it.
That dude is good, and the Cowboys look good enough. They looked really good against the Browns. The Browns
were
embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Myles Garrett was.
But the funny thing is, Dak Prescott's numbers they just
They didn't have to be.
the Browns were so bad. Yeah, they didn't have to be great. They looked good.
Yeah.
They looked efficient, but they weren't great.
Cowboys' field
It,
position must have been amazing because they only had like less than 300 yards total offense.
yeah, it
Right?
wasn't. They ran really good special teams as well.
Yeah.
They're on punts and kicks. How do you feel about the new kicking rule?
I don't hate it. It's fine.
I
Yeah, I
like
think
it.
it's kind of cool.
Like I think having kicks be mean something
Mm-hmm.
again. It's something. Like
I think my favorite part of the kick return, the new rules. Yeah, I like the fact that it opens up the opportunity for returns. I like the penalty for kicking touchbacks. Right? Like
yes,
if
to the
if it's a
30
touchback, you're on the 30. Now, if it hits in the landing zone and you down it,
and
then you
then
only get it at
bounce
the
and
20, right?
20.
You better not get
Yes.
a touchback, right? Like if you catch it in that landing zone, you got to go. Or you got to kick it to the opposing team and then let your defense stop them for a field goal. Whatever the Bayless Jones path. But Cowboys look good.
Yeah.
I still don't think they're
Yeah.
very
Well,
deep on the receiver side, but Brandon Cooks,
no, Brandon Cooks caught a
yeah,
touchdown, but I still don't think they're very deep
no,
as well. But it with the Cowboys, does week one ever matter?
no.
It's about
Well, I mean, the
playoffs.
Cowboys will be good for the first 17 weeks of this year. The year.
That's what I mean. That's the
Yeah,
problem. That's the thing about it. It's like you can't get too hyped about week one. We already, especially for the teams that you already know are going to probably be
yeah,
there. And it's never been the Cowboys' problem to get out of to get to the
no,
playoffs. It's going to be what they do when they get there. So all they can do is hope to stay healthy
yep,
and continue to do what they do on a
yeah.
regular
Barring
basis.
injury,
That's
they're in the playoffs.
they're in the playoffs. Now, when they get to the playoffs, all bets
Yes,
off. But into barring injury, they're there.
because there's teams like Tampa Bay Buccaneers who like to play spoilers, and Baker Mayfield is just the bake show, man. I still love
I,
Baker Mayfield, and
I think like if no one gives that team, I think we all forget how good Mike Evans is
yeah,
and Chris Godwin and the offensive players that they've had for a few years. The same people that made a 40-year-old Tom Brady go out there and still have it and with the Buccaneers. Like they are a big part of why he looks so good even in his 40s. I had a guy in our fantasy draft. He drafted 10th. The team is only 10 people. His 10th pick was Mike Evans. And we all looked at him like, you idiot. What are you doing?
it's
All
still a
Mike
little
Evans
early.
does is
But all he does is catch footballs.
all he does is get 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns a year. And you can't get that production in the second. Like
Yeah,
that's hard production to get for a first round pick. That's what I started thinking about in general.
that's
But that's all he does for his career is 10 plus touchdowns, 1,000 plus
yep. I was gonna
yards.
say he's 61 yards down, 939 to go for his 10th consecutive 1,000-yard season to start his career, which is
It's
unheard.
crazy that we're gonna be talking about Mike Evans as a Hall of
Oh, he's a Hall
Famer.
of Famer already.
Yeah, we're all and the thing about it is in the argument's sake, we're always gonna be like, was he ever the best wide receiver in the time in his era? No. I think the answer is no.
No, yeah, he's never been
But
the best
he's
receiver in the NFL.
but he's just been consistent for his entire career. So it's going to be one of those things where when we're talking about Hall of Fame, we got to look at the
Yep.
numbers. He's got a champion, he's got a Super Bowl to his
Yes, he
name.
does.
So, but I think because we watched him play all of his career and we never once looked at him, just like I said, the guy took him in the first round, and we're like, that's too early. But on paper, he's probably a top 5 wide receiver.
5-time Pro Bowler,
Statistically,
one-time Super Bowl champion, right? 1051, 1206, 1321, 1001, 1524, 1157, 1006, 1035, 1124, 1255. It's every year. He's got 96 touchdowns to his name, 11,700 yards receiving. He's going to eclipse 12,000 this year. Might eclipse 13, might get into 13s this year. He's 31 years old. Might have another 3-4 years in him. He's already a Hall of Famer. In my mind, he's a Hall of Famer right now.
His numbers say he's a Hall of Famer, but it's going to be like I said, people are going to be like, well, he wasn't never the best wide receiver in his time. He just, I think, like the same view that I had about him in fantasy football is the same view that everyone's going to
He's like,
have, even though statistically he's a top four wide receiver. If you was rating off the top wide receivers, you might forget to name him.
yeah. Well, he's number 33 all time in receiving yards as of right now. He will pass Don Maynard, Antonio Gates, assuming he doesn't get hurt, Michael Irvin, Derek Mason, Hines Ward, Charlie Joyner, Jimmy Smith. Let's just assume he gets his 1,000 yards this year. Antonio Brown, Brandon Marshall, DeAndre Hopkins.
Wait. Did you say Antonio Brown?
Yes. The Antonio Brown. Yes.
He's above him?
11 seasons, he's ranked 20. He's number 25 in all-time receiving yards. Antonio Brown was insane.
Seasons?
And literally insane.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to pass, assuming he just gets his 1,000 yards, Art Monk, probably Irving Fryer, and be just outside the top 20 at Jason Witten. That's just if he gets his 1,000 yards this year, which he always does.
Which he always does.
He will jump 13 places. He'll be near the top 20. And if he has a crazy year, he will be in the top 20. All-time receiving yards.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer. It's just that, yeah.
Jaden Daniels had a rough start to his career. That dude's going to get broken in half. If he plays a good defense, he's going to get broken in half.
I'm hoping he gets broken in half this week.
Oh, against the Giants? I'm going to tell you what.
Yes.
I don't know what the Buccaneers pass rush is, but I think the Giants have a better front four.
They didn't look that great against what's the name? Vikings.
The Vikings have a couple of really strong tackles, though.
Yeah.
You never know.
They look good. So
then we had the
what else?
Go ahead.
No. So what other games?
Rams Lions. Overtime.
Good game.
David Montgomery said, "I'm going to run everybody over," and did, and they won. Still, like, I know the NFL keeps trying to figure out how to do the overtime. I still think it's strange that both teams can't get the ball in this situation, right? Because the Lions got the ball and scored the touchdown, and that's it.
Yeah, game over. Mm-hmm.
I just think it's...
You think it should be very similar to a college football rule?
I think it should be like they do in the playoffs. The playoff rule is even they score, you still get the ball, and you can tie them, right, or win, right? That's only the playoffs. Why is it not the regular season? Whatever. And then we had last night's just New York Jets getting embarrassed by the 49ers. Just straight up embarrassed.
Wasn't good.
Rodgers didn't look bad. Jets just were not good. But it's week one. Who knows? I think the Jets will probably course correct. They got the Titans next week, and then they got, I think, somebody after that that's very winnable, right? So we'll see. 49ers look deep and good. Ayuk
without CMC,
yeah. Ayuk obviously looked a little rusty. Debo looked nice out there. Defense looked stout. 49ers are good. Go.
Yeah,
figure.
that's gonna happen. Like, that's a given in my opinion.
Yeah.
They keep with that coach who runs that and who has the guys who's gonna make his system work.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be good no matter, as long as he finds guys that work in his system. It's a system with him, and they have a good one.
Yes, agreed. Oh boy, the week wasn't bad. It was a decent week of football, I think.
It was a decent week.
Quarterbacks were lacking, but that was just across the league. Nobody was Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr were your top two quarterbacks of the week. So.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Put your money on anyone playing the Panthers. It looks like.
Oh God, shoot. So are you in any confidence pools or confidence?
No.
How many people were eliminated because of the Bengals?
Because of the Bengals? Yes, a lot.
I bet you it's like 70% of people in confidence leagues were eliminated because of the Bengals. It had to be.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw that happen.
No one did. No.
and you can't pick the Well, I guess you pick a winner every week, right? That's how Conference League.
I don't
I
ever
think the
been in
Conference
one of
League works
those.
is you have to pick a winner every week, but you can only pick a team to win once, right?
Mm,
So picking the Bengals versus the Patriots seemed like a smart choice, but
yes,
Saints versus the Panthers was clearly the smarter choice.
of course,
So the
of
70% that were
course.
eliminated because of the Bengals, they're 30% had the Saints. Boy, you ready to go through this week's lineup of fun?
Oh yeah,
Let's do it. Thursday night,
tough
the
game.
Bills go to Miami. It's a night game though, so right,
It's a night game, so the sun, no
no
sun.
sun. Bills versus Dolphins. Bills at Dolphins.
I'll tell you what, the first half of that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars did not utter confidence of Miami. Once again, though, week one, not going to hold that against them. Miami's at home. I'm going to say
Miami's
Miami.
2.5 point favorites. Harland's taking the Dolphins. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to put it in that column. There we go. I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
I really
I
like Josh Allen, so we'll see what happens. Then we have the Cowboys hosting the Saints. Dak Prescott versus the red hot Derek Carr.
hosting the Saints. It's the first guess, the opener in
Yeah,
Dallas. Dallas. All right, let's go Dallas.
yeah, that's my choice too. Not because I love the Cowboys. I just don't think
That's because you don't really have faith in
I
the
don't think the Saints
Saints.
are that good. So
Neither do
we'll
I.
see. Here's an interesting one. The 1-0 Lions hosting the 1-0 Buccaneers. Lions are
That is
seven
interesting.
point favorites.
Ah, man. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay.
Wow. I like that choice. I'm gonna go
I'm gonna go
Lions though.
Tampa Bay.
The Lions look pretty good. Buccaneers look good though too, but it
Look,
was against the Who's It's. Who would they beat?
I
I
mean,
just was just talking about it. I can't remember who they beat.
I don't know who you
Don't
beat
matter.
either.
Let's see. Now, Packers home opener versus the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are 3 point favorites.
I've got to go Colts because of.
Oh, I don't think the Packers are going to win a game until Jordan Love gets back, and I don't even think they'll win that game. I don't even know who it's against yet. I just think it's going to be one of those things. They're going to be 0 and whatever to start the season, and I'm going to love every minute of it.
Until they play the
And then
Bears.
the Bears sweep this year. Titans are hosting the Jets. The Jets are 3.5 point favorites. Titans are at home.
Let me get this one to the Jets.
Yeah, it's hard not to. After witnessing the Will Levis experience, my favorite part of that whole game is after Will Levis chucked that pick six. He drops to his knees and he has his hands on his head and he's like standing up like up straight on his knees like the King Cobra, just like no, and he didn't even attempt to stop the.
He saw it. We all saw that.
It was great. It's one of those.
Robert Sala goes 0-1 with Brett Favre is better than being 1-0 without him. That's what he's quoted as
Brett
saying.
Favre.
Not Brett Favre, sorry.
Like, wow,
Aaron
that's
Rodgers.
like a weird statement to make. And we don't even have Brett
Aaron
Favre.
Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be fine.
They'll be
Brees Hall
fine,
looked
yeah.
good. You know who looked really good? Garrett Wilson.
Yo,
He
yeah.
looked
They had one of his guys from Green Bay did look good too.
Lazard, yeah. No, not Lazard.
Yeah,
Was it Lazard? Yeah.
Allen.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The Vikings, the 1-0 Vikings, coming off a big win versus the Giants, are hosting the 49ers. 49ers are 6 point favorites.
That's an L. That's an L. I kind of hope that the Vikings win so the Giants don't look so bad, but I think they're going to lose.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this is a 49ers game to win. Then we have the 1-0 Patriots hosting the Seahawks. Seahawks are 3.5 point favorites.
I got to go to the Seahawks. I can't believe that New England was actually that good.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seahawks as well. I just think Seattle might be a better team than the Bengals. So that's all. Now we have your Washington Commanders at 0-1,
They're not my Washington Commanders.
hosting
My
that other
Giants.
team, the Giants, and the Somebody's Got to Win Bowl. The Commanders are
The New York Giants.
the New York Football Giants. The Washington Commanders are 1.5-point favorites.
We always beat this Commanders.
I'll put you down for the Giants. Oh boy, this is a really hard pick right here, from a non-biased perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any faith in Daniel Jones, like any.
Listen, as a fan of the team, I don't really have much faith in him either.
I don't have a ton of faith in Jaden Daniels either. And I don't have a ton of faith in him staying healthy. I think Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, I think those.
They usually have pretty good. Kayvon Thibodeau has notoriously had really good games against Washington.
I think they're going to get after him. I think this is going to be like a 6 or 7 sack game.
That's what they normally
For the
usually
Giants.
have against them.
Jaden Daniels, he's elusive, he's fast, but man, he's just going to. I don't trust Daniel Jones. I'm gonna. I'm gonna go Giants.
Okay. I'm not happy
It's
about
under
it.
protest. It's under protest, but I'm gonna do it. And now we have the home opener in Carolina. The Panthers, 0-1, hosting
Whoever, the other.
Who's gonna play the
I
week?
know
Nobody. The Chargers are 6.5-point favorites on the road. There is no reason to choose the Panthers for anything. Even if you were choosing your top 16 teams with another friend, you wouldn't even choose them last. You'd be like, the Crimson Tide. After that, we have the Jaguars hosting the Browns. Now, Deshaun Watson is not on the commissioner's list of
exempt list. Yeah,
he can't play because he's a bad person. But he should play because he's a bad quarterback. The Jaguars.
He's not been a very good quarterback.
The Jaguars are 3-point favorites in this one.
I'm going to continue my hate of Lawrence by picking the Browns.
I'm going to take the Jaguars in this one.
Yeah, it's probably the smart pick.
And I don't even need a reason to do it. I'm just doing it. Ravens 0-1 hosting the Raiders 0-1. And I'm going to tell you what, the Raiders don't look good.
They didn't look good.
They do not.
Didn't look good.
Ravens are
Devontae Adams
9.5-point
is
favorites.
upset. I'm going Ravens. I need big points from them. I need to see.
Yeah.
If y'all were, if that was the worst game that they played last week, let me see what a better game is this week.
They might put up 50 on the Raiders. Cardinals, 0-1 Cardinals, hosting the 0-1 Rams. The Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites at home.
Woo.
Yeah.
No Puka.
No Puka.
But still.
But still Cup.
That's tough. Still Cup. Still Kyron. I'm going Rams. Oh.
Cardinals are still my surprise pick for this year. I'm taking the Cardinals. I like the Rams. I like Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
But Cardinals at home, they're feisty. They're going to eke it out a win. They're going to win like 23-22. Broncos hosting the Steelers. Pittsburgh's 3-point favorites. This isn't.
The least they could do is let Russ play.
This is not the Russ revenge game. This is Justin Fields.
I know.
Justin Fields lit up the Broncos last year.
He what?
Lit up the Broncos last year, and then the Broncos came back because the Bears let them. Steelers are 3-point favorites in this one.
If we're gonna see Bo Nix get busy, it ain't gonna be against Watt. So I'm picking. I'm picking.
I'm there with you. And then we have Kansas City gets 2 consecutive home games to start the season, and they're taking on the Joe Burrows. Kansas City's a 6-point favorite.
You remember that what they call Arrowhead?
Burrowhead. Right?
Burrowhead, and they hate that.
Yeah, they do.
They hate that, and it won't be Burrowhead this time. It's Kansas City.
It won't. It's Kansas City. I think Xavier Worthy might score 4 touchdowns in this game. Just because, why not? I think every game he'll have 2 more than the previous game. So by what's 2 to the 17th power? He's gonna have a lot of touchdowns at the end here.
That's a lot.
Yes, it
That's a
is.
whole lot.
Sunday night, prime time. The
Sunday,
Texans are hosting the Chicago Bears. The Texans are 7-point favorites right now.
Texans are good.
They are.
I gotta go Texans.
Yes, they are. The Texans are good. But you know who's going to be better this week?
Who's going to be better?
Bears. And I'm going to give you my 3 keys to victory. Key number 1. The Bears need to go out and score more points than the Texans. That's key 1 to victory.
That's number 1.
Key 2. They need to be able to hold the Texans to less points than they score.
Points than they score. Okay.
And then key number 3 is they need to score more points than the Texans. Now, it sounds similar to points 1 and 2, but those are my 3 keys to this game.
Those are your key bulletin board.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I just hope that Caleb comes out and has a better game. Maybe has a little more poise, a little more calm. I think if they can go out there and have a smart offensive game plan,
the defense
and give the Texans consistently long fields, which they can. They might be able to eke this one out. I think they do.
Listen. I know y'all have what we probably dubbed one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Mm-hmm. They got weapons.
He can't guard all 3. I understand.
He can't guard Tank, Nico, and Stephon Diggs.
He can guard one of them. Tyreek Stevenson will get the other one, and then Kyler Gordon will get the third one.
All right.
They're not going to pitch a shutout. It's just not going to happen.
And they got Larry Tunsil still blocking for. They got a good offensive line.
Larry Tunsil's only on one side though.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
They got a good. The
Texans are a really good team. The Texans are stout.
Mm-hmm.
They are a very nice team, both sides of the ball. They're well coached. It's the Bears. It's the
Bears. You don't need a reason to pick your team. No. You don't need a reason.
And then we have the Eagles hosting the Falcons. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. This is Monday night. This is Kirk Cousins on the road.
Yeah. It's gotta be Philly. Although I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Saquon go for 3 touchdowns again. I think that you'd be foolish not to keep giving him the ball. I said it when he was a Giant. You'd be foolish not to just keep handing that man the ball.
I don't think the Falcons can stop anybody, to be honest. I know they got thin on defense before the draft in free agency. They did nothing really to address it until a week and a half ago. They traded for Judon. They signed another cornerback. I can't remember who it is. I just don't see the Falcons. I really thought the Falcons would be like, all right, we're just gonna try to outscore you. Because you think they should be able to.
But they played a really good defense last week. That's why it's hard.
I don't think the Eagles are a bad defense.
They're not. They're not Pittsburgh.
No.
They were beat up and down the field by they were thrown on all game. They were run on game. Like they have problems in their defense.
You know what they
do? They've got holes in their defense. But can Kirk Cousins exploit it with the talent that they have at wide receiver?
Do you think
that's the problem?
But I don't think he will.
I don't know.
I am in the camp of Kirko is old and coming off of a torn Achilles, and maybe he just doesn't have it anymore. And it'd be hilarious if he didn't, because the Falcons gave him all that money. But they drafted Penix, so maybe they knew.
They did.
We'll give you all this money, but we don't think you're good. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, thank you.
Kirk's just moonwalking out with a burlap sack with a dollar sign on it. That's what he did.
Thank you for the lack of faith in me, but the ability to give me all this money.
So last week, I outpicked you 10-1, or 10-8. I mean, you only got one right, Harland. No.
Oh man,
I got you. You wouldn't take the Cowboys. I had you Cowboys Browns.
Hmm.
You had the 49ers. I
And
had the Jets.
Giants.
We both took the Giants.
And-
Uh,
oh man.
you took the Texans. I took the Colts. I took the Chargers. You took the Raiders. And I took the Eagles. You took the Packers. Right. So
Yeah. They still should have had
they
that game.
didn't. Um,
They did. They should
this
have
week we
though.
got some differences here: the Bills and Dolphins, the Lions, the Bucks. You took the Bucks. Just a reminder.
Yeah, I took the
Otherwise, the
Bucks.
Jags and the Browns, Cardinals, Rams, Bears, Texans. Come on, Bears. It's a primetime game. I need
The
you to look
very
good.
yes.
Need you to look good. And
Yeah, you just don't want the interceptions, man.
no,
Just
no
let the
interceptions.
defense, like I said, let run the same thing that Fields they're running in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Let the defense do what they. Even though y'all have weapons, it could be game 4, and y'all go, okay, I see what we are. We're gonna have to ride on this defense.
Oh, it's gonna have to happen. Um, I just realized because it's Sunday night. That means it's NBC. That
Uh
means I
oh.
got
Uh oh.
everybody's
You got
Chris
Chris.
Collinsworth, his son Jack Collinsworth. Got the ever so endearing Tony Dungy.
Ter-
Got the
Is Tony Dungy still doing it?
yeah
Mike
Mike
Tirico.
Tirico. I hate the NBC broadcast. They have lots of nice cameras and stuff and get tons of good angles, but I hate the broadcast. I hate the pregame. I hate the halftime. I hate it all. I hate it all. It is so overproduced. I hate the song.
It's very overproduced, but I actually like Chris Collinsworth,
Now here's
except
a
when
guy. Now if the Bears can get more here's the guys than the Texans, the Bears might win.
I just as long as he's not doing a primetime quarterback where that he's gonna go,
Oh,
oh my god, he's
he's gonna
just
be
like,
he's gonna
oh,
be slobbering all over C.J. Stroud.
CJ
Yeah,
Stroud, yeah.
and probably Caleb. And Caleb doesn't have to have a good game. It's like blah 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 blah. It's gonna be at least it's not like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes or something like that.
Patrick Holmes, oh Jesus, or Herbert, really all of them, Herbert, Allen, Mahomes,
Now
the
now we're
stuff.
speaking about NBC. Why did NBC get 3 games this last week? They had the Thursday night game, they had the Friday night game, and then they had the Sunday game again. So we got double
Yeah,
Chris Collinsworth, and then we got the putrid. It was a very rough broadcast from Rio de Janeiro on
yeah.
Peacock exclusive. So why did they get all these people? Why did they get all these games? They should get 1 game a week and reluctantly, and I hate it when they get one.
How'd you feel about Tom Brady
Oh God,
doing his broadcast? I can't stand
they
his
gave him
voice.
all that money without even hearing him call a single game. That's just dumb. Like, can he get better? He can't
Hmm.
get worse. So
Yeah.
he has to get better by default, or at least stay the same. Ugh, it's tough.
Or just take his money and go on about his
I hope
business
he
and let
does.
Greg Olson do what he was. Greg Olson had Greg. I remember Greg Olson used to just be doing the crappy Giants game. He did a lot of Giants
Yeah.
games when he probably, and then he finally got to the guy where he's at the peak. He's at the
Yes.
pinnacle, and Tom comes in and kicks him down a
And Tom
notch.
just like stroll in. They said like 3 years ago, "All right, Tom, here's all this money to
Hmm.
be a
Still playing
yeah."
football, basically.
Like, come on. Greg Olson's just like, you got to be shitting me. And Greg Olson is a good broadcaster. He should
Yep.
be doing the game of the weeks, but no. Instead, we're going to get Tom Brady because he's the goat. He's the greatest of all
Hmm.
time. Blah blah blah.
I'm not gonna lie. I love the fact that that we don't even have to live like too long without another GOAT conversation. Like you realize what Patrick Mahomes is doing
Yes,
to the Patriots legacy and Tom Brady's legacy in real
it's unheard
time.
of. I know, and it's amazing.
It's so great. It's so
Yeah,
great. Like it's I don't think I've ever seen I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who is in the GOAT competition could possibly lose his GOAT status as fast
yes,
as what we're
yes.
seeing. And the only thing he has going for him is that he did beat Patrick Mahomes,
Yep.
beat him in the Super Bowl and beat him in the in the AFC
Yep.
Championship.
Beat him in back-to-back years. Yeah.
So yep. So he's got that on him, but he may not have much on him when it's all said and
No.
done.
That might be it. That might be it. Yeah. Like, so I know we talked about this almost every week for the last year. But Patrick Mahomes has won 3 out of the last 5 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
The only one he didn't make it
Yeah.
to is that lightning in a bottle Bengals year. And the
Bengals,
one that he
yeah.
lost
Yep.
was Tom Brady. And he's gone to the AFC Championship every season he's been a starter. AFC Championship, minimum. That's all he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's only been a starter for 7 years, 6 years, 3,
Yeah,
5. So he's been a starter for 6 seasons. Lost 1 Super Bowl, won 3, 2 AFC championships. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
And
rough.
he's the reason they're there. Unlike
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unlike Tom
Oh,
Brady
yeah.
in the playoffs for the first half of his career, who was not that good. It was the defense.
Nope. Yep. It's he's gonna crush these records.
Yes.
I'm gonna look at where he's at right now. Patrick. Spell if I can spell right.
As long as he just stays healthy for the rest of his career, he'll be fine. And that's the big one. That's the big if. That's football.
That's a yeah, but there you can't touch a quarterback, so
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady, there's all sorts of rules made to because of him. Still got hurt 1 year, right? So
yeah, but then they changed the rules
yeah.
the following year, so that can never happen,
Yeah.
or it should never happen. It's a penalty when you crawl at a quarterback's legs
Yeah.
now. So Patrick Mahomes has got 61,000 more yards to go to beat Tom's 89,000 total yards. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He averages about 4,000 yards a season. So he's got more than 10. He's got to put 10. He's got to put some years
Yes.
in.
Tom Brady played for a long time at a high level.
He's got to. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes got to almost go to 40 to get it.
Yep. Don't know why he can't.
Don't know why he can't. And he threw a 5,000 yard year in there, so to make it easier on himself for the future.
He's like, future me.
2 of them. 2. I did not know he had 5250. I forgot 5250. So I only averaged him at 4,000 yards a season. I should have probably averaged him something like 4,500 yards, and he needs less time at that.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His 17 game average. Oh my God. Are you looking at that? Where his 17 game average is 5,000 yards.
Yes. 5,000 yards.
Right? So
he needs 60,000 yards to go. That's 12 seasons.
yeah.
He's 28 right now, so we're still talking. He'll be 29 in a couple days.
He's got to get to
So we're still talking to 40, 41.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady played to what, 43?
Yeah.
Right? So we'll see.
What? Sometimes I think pro football lets Wikipedia put the names in there. Patrick Mahomes, aka the Grim Reaper. Never heard that. AKA Showtime. Okay. AKA the Magic Man. The musician.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Fat Trick.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
You've heard that one?
Because he's got like a dad bod.
I've never heard Fat Trick. The Gunslinger or my homeboy. Okay, those I've heard. The musician?
Andy Reid called him the Grim Reaper.
Oh.
Beyond that, I don't know. I don't know about the musician. I never heard that one.
Magic Man.
Yeah, I don't know. He averages 296 yards passing a game, which is pretty good.
It's okay. It's all right.
If he finishes with that, that's an all-time record. So that would be the 8.36 yards an attempt. uh, and and a and
Yep.
a career 103.5 rating, which would also be an all-time record as well.
He's got to keep that up
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
at his rate.
I don't know what stops him from doing it.
Kelsey may only have 1 or 2 more years.
I don't think it matters.
It can't. It's got to matter. And what also is kind of crazy about that, just in terms of longevity's sake, Andy Reid ain't got 12 years.
I don't know. Where's Andy Reid Jr.? Like literally. Like
I don't think we want to say
oh,
that. I
that's
think
right. We don't want Andy Reid's kids involved. I forgot about that. Eek.
66 years old. So he could go to 78.
Then he's like,
Maybe.
what's his face from the Bills? What was the
Oh no, he
Marv
looked
Levy?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, Andy Reid's only like 2 years older than uh, uh, John Harbaugh,
John Harbaugh's looking old.
but not Andy Reid old.
Not Andy Reid old. Andy Reid just looks like what is the guy? If I can't think of his name from Cocoon.
Oh, Wilford Brimley.
Diabetes. Yeah, Wilford Brimley. Yes.
Yeah, you know, Wilford Brimley was like 50 something when he made that Cocoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm. But it's Andy Reid. Who knows? He'll keep eating his. Let me try to get with them
and they
nuggies.
can't.
Still my favorite commercial ever.
Yes, and they can't promote Spagnuolo to coach. We've seen that he's not a good coach. He's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets another opportunity if he wants one.
So what happens when Reed retires? Then who? They'll bring in somebody. You know, they'll bring in what's his face from the 49ers or LaFleur or
I,
something like that.
I was thinking, they get a Shanahan eventually because they can't have him go out there and keep losing to Andy Reid and keep hiring him, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like eventually there's gonna be a time where they don't make the NFC championship and ownership
They
is
just
gonna
fire him.
go, we got
A lot
we
like
gotta
Andy
go
Reid happened
someplace else.
in Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta let you go and try to do it with somebody else. Or Sean McVay,
Yep.
who's been flirting leaving football for a little
Yep.
while. So I could see him taking a break and then just when the coaching job at Kansas City comes up.
Yeah.
I think I'll
And
come
he's
back.
young too. He's still like
He's young.
late 30s,
Yeah.
early 40s, right? So yeah, that's a
Yep.
possibility. I mean, Shanahan's young too.
Yeah.
I was
Both
surprised
of
that John
them.
Harbaugh was as old as he was, but then John Harbaugh's been doing it for a minute. You
Hmm.
forget that he's been there for so long. I think it's like 15 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You said John Harbaugh. I was thinking of the
Yeah,
Harbaugh
who's
who
got
does
to know
look
it?
old.
Nobody. John Harbaugh is 61 years old.
Yeah, John's been at Baltimore for a
Yep.
while.
His career is 172 and 110. He's been there for a minute. So, I always liked him. I never liked the
Yeah.
other.
Never his
Never liked
brother.
the other Harbaugh at all. Yeah, he's been there since 2008. So 16 years.
Hmm.
Hmm?
I just look. All I can say is to wrap it all up. I just need the Giants not to look that bad. I can't have a season like this.
Yeah.
I can't have a season like this.
Nobody wants it. Uh,
At first, man, when the games was going on, I was like, we're both gonna have to go on this podcast and talk about how bad our teams are.
yes.
Like, it was like, this isn't good.
No.
This isn't good. It's not entertaining. But I'll tell you, it's therapeutic
Mm.
because now I've got it all out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to think about it. It's time for the next week two. Week two is beginning. I'm gonna get CMC in the Guillotine League
Mm-hmm.
and Waddle, and then I win the Guillotine League.
No. Won't happen. Well, I won't allow it because we're in the same league, and I have to win. I've earned it. I've been in it for 3 years. This is my one. I have to win in here. All right. Yeah. You know what? I don't have anything fun to end on. Other than I saw an erroneous report that the next Spider Verse movie, Sony made them scrap all of everything and they had to restart and won't come out until 2027. And
Ooh,
well,
that would
but
hurt.
then what's his face? Chris Miller, he's like, no, that's not true. We're doing just fine. So who knows? I need that Spider
Oh
Verse to come
man,
out.
how'd you do in fantasy this
I
week?
won everything. Oh,
Oh,
I needed because I started Caleb Williams because I'm gonna
mm.
say it with my chest, Caleb Williams at quarterback. But my options were I have three quarterbacks on my team. I got Caleb Williams because it's a keeper league and I want to keep him if he turns out good. Dak Prescott
Hmm.
and those two guys had the same stinking bye week, so I had to get Jared Goff. The difference between
Oh man,
Caleb scored 8 points, Jared Goff scored 13. That was it.
that
There
was
wasn't
it.
like a ton.
The
And
huge
Dak
difference
Prescott
in
had
between
10
them.
in there, I think, or 11. I needed in going into that last game CMC and Aaron Rodgers to combine for less than 9 points to win.
Oh,
That's all I needed.
you
CMC put up a goose
and
egg because he didn't play.
a goose
Aaron
egg.
Rodgers one touchdown, one pick, cancels each other out just about. Gave him 8 points.
Uh-huh.
I won by one, so that's all I need.
Hmm. See, where's this? Oh yeah, Uberflus the swear jar.
There
There
he
you go.
is. Yeah.
There you go. I was
73
looking
to
at the team.
72, I believe it was.
I am sitting in fourth place in this league with this team of ragtag bunch of guys I had to pull
You put
together
up a
in that draft.
huge number this week because you had the
You
Dallas
know
kicker
why?
and the Bears defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Those are the most points I got from anybody. Jalen Hurts did all
yeah.
right, but yeah, this team's got some problems.
Listen, it's a keeper league. I had that kicker last year. What's his face? I almost kept him.
Aubrey,
I was,
yes.
I was like, I'll probably be able to get him for a couple bucks.
When he got auctioned up and it was like one, and I was like, no, there was like, I was like, okay, I'll wait. And then someone said two. I
It
was
was
like,
me
no,
that
I'm,
said
I'm
two.
gonna take this. I was like, I'm taking this at three, and I was like, did I pay too much for a kicker? I was like, nah, I think I'll be all
I should
right.
have just ran it up because I finished that draft with like $20.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to do. But I'll tell you what, you got to leave early.
Yes, I
When you
did.
don't have any money, everyone's taking all the people from you. You can only bid a
Yep.
dollar.
That was
It's like,
last year. All I needed to do was draft a kicker, and I'm like, I put up the kicker and I spent all my money on it, like $19 or whatever. It's like nobody's taking this kicker from me. I want to leave this draft, and I should have done that this
yeah,
year. My last pick was
yeah.
Khalil Shakir, which was a good pick so far.
I was the last one. Like, oh, good guys, I've got 10, like $3,
Let
guys.
me get my three players for a dollar.
Let me
Just let me
get the
get them.
three players I need. And every time I pick someone, I was like, no one's gonna want him. They would outbid me for him. I was like, what are you doing?
Yep. New guy
I learned
hazing is
from
what it
this.
was.
Yeah, new guy's in third place right now.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I'm a little worried. Oh, man, I'm looking at the projections for this week.
Hmm.
Dak Prescott 18, Jared Goff 17, and Caleb Williams 17. I don't know how you can project Caleb Williams for 17 yet. And I got Devin Anchan, who's might not be playing, but I have
Hmm.
Kyron Williams and Aaron Jones, so I'm okay.
How are you seeing your projections? They're not showing me
Oh,
mine. Oh, there they go. Yeah, they go. Oh no, my team's projected for a solid 93 points again. Feeling good. Uh the Bears defense versus or Tennessee's I may have to nope, I'm leaving the Bears defense in.
yeah.
I do have to figure
Good choice,
something
because they're
out
going
with
to win.
this. Yeah, their defense was and special teams, both of them were just too good. And the Jets got beat on by the San Francisco 49ers. Now, those are my two defenses, the Bears and the Jets. So,
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Harlan,
yeah. Yeah, I gotta go.
call it